Even when the world turned gray, you bloomed, not with the noise of spring nor the thunder of applause, but with the quiet, stubborn grace of a flower that chooses to open in the cold. I watched you without you knowing as you stitched broken hours into days that felt whole. I saw how you held yourself together when everything else begged you to come undone. There was no music to guide you, no hand to steady yours, but you danced through the dark as though the stars had whispered your name, and in that silence you bloomed. I whispered to the wind to protect you. I asked the rain to be soft on your shoulders. I prayed to every unseen mercy that your petals might never wilt, not from weariness, not from time, not from forgetting how to believe. Because you and all your quiet bravery taught me what it means to grow even when there is no one watching, no sun shining, and no certainty that tomorrow will understand the beauty of your bloom. You never asked for recognition. You never screamed your worth. You stood still in gardens no one else visited, rooted deep in dreams you dared not share aloud. I saw how the wind mistook your resilience for fragility, how people passed you by as though you were background, not knowing the stories you carried in the curve of your smile. There was so much unsaid in the way you loved, so much sacrifice folded beneath your silence. I would watch you walk into rooms like sunlight slipping through a cracked window, unannounced, unassuming, but changing everything with your presence. You bloomed in the shadows and showed me that beauty doesn't beg to be noticed, that it can live, fiercely, in the overlooked. I held on to the memory of your soft strength when I felt myself fading. I remembered how your quiet gave me courage, and in every moment I wanted to give up, I would close my eyes and see you still blooming, still whole, even when the world did not applaud. There were nights I would imagine the scent of you, soft as jasmine, wild as lavender, real as the ache in my chest when I remembered the way your fingers felt laced in mine. You were not a storm, though you carried thunder in your heart. You were not fire, though something in you could burn. You were more earth after rain, sky before dawn, a hush that made everything else feel too loud. Still, you bloomed. In the ache of goodbye, in the hush of missing, in the long miles of silence we never thought would stretch this far, you bloomed. Even in absence, your presence clings to me like the ghost of a song I can't unhear. I try to write you into poems, but words betray you. They stumble, they fall short. Because you were never just a moment, I carry you like a season that never left. And even now, in this quiet, I feel you still blooming in the corners of me, I thought had turned to stone. I never said thank you, not the way I meant to, not in the way you deserved. I should have told you that your love healed things I didn't know were broken, that you made even the simplest hours feel sacred, that just sitting beside you felt like safety, like breathing without effort, like the whole world paused to make room for something gentle. I think of the way you laughed, like you didn't know you were beautiful, like joy surprised you, like wonder hadn't left your bones. You bloomed, not in the spring, but in the middle of my winter. When everything else had frozen, you brought life. You didn't promise forever, but you gave me a now that felt eternal. And still you bloom, in the memory of your voice, in the way your name still tastes like home, in every quiet second where I feel my heart searching for you in the air. I've learned that love doesn't always stay, but it leaves echoes, it leaves traces, it leaves people forever changed. And you, oh love, you left gardens in me, wild, unruly, beautiful places I never knew I could tend. You made me kinder, you made me softer, you made me strong enough to hurt, and still love again. And though I miss you in 1,000 ways, I would not trade the bloom you gave me for the safety of never knowing you. I still whisper your name sometimes, like a prayer, like a promise, like a wish cast into the night, hoping it will reach your ears somehow. Maybe you'll hear it in the breeze, or feel it in a dream. Maybe you'll never know how you still bloom in me, but I know. And I hold that truth like a flower pressed into the pages of my favorite book, a memory that will never die. There's something sacred about the way you let love unfold, not demanding, not clinging, just offering. You never needed to be the loudest voice in the room. You simply became the one no one could forget. I still carry the notes of your goodbye, how gently you closed the door, how your silence felt like the most loving kind of heartbreak, and still you bloom. In the quiet after laughter, in the pause between words, in the empty side of the bed where my hand sometimes reaches instinctively. You bloom in the mornings, I wake without you, and in the nights I fall asleep remembering. You bloom in the dreams I didn't know you were still part of. And though the world moves on, and time keeps marching, I am rooted in the memory of you, the you who stayed when I didn't deserve it, the you who smiled even when it hurt, the you who taught me that real love is not about holding on but about blooming freely, even when it means letting go. I saw you once across a crowded room, and though years had passed, my heart still recognized you, not by the way you looked, but by the light that never left you. It was softer now, tempered by time, but it was still there, the glow that only truth carries. I didn't speak. I didn't need to, because some connections are too sacred for words, too deep for casual hellos. I smiled, quietly, and in that one glance I felt everything, the joy, the loss, the gratitude, the ache. You turned away, maybe sensing me, maybe not. But I swear, even then you bloomed, and I understood something profound, that love, real love, doesn't die. It changes shape. It transforms. It lives in the shadows, and still brings light. You taught me that. And though I walk without you now, I walk better because of you. More whole, more honest, more alive. And wherever you are, I hope you're still blooming, still soft, still strong, still everything that made the world pause to admire you. Sometimes, I wonder if you still think of me, if somewhere between your sunrise and coffee, your hands and healing, your music and moments, a memory of me lingers like perfume. I wonder if you ever catch the scent of a season we shared, a word I used to say, a quiet we filled together. I wonder if you remember how we bloomed, side by side, in the kind of soil made from heartbreak and hope. And though I no longer ask the stars for your return, I thank them for our time, because love like ours was never meant to be caged. It was meant to grow wild, to bloom and break and bloom again. You gave me that. You gave me the courage to feel everything, to fall, to grieve, to love without apology. And still you bloom, in ways you'll never see, in lives you've touched unknowingly, in hearts like mine, still quietly grateful for the way you made even pain feel like a kind of blossoming. You, my almost, my always, my forever in a moment. You were never just a chapter. You were the part of the book that changed me, the line I underlined, the page I folded over, the passage I whispered aloud just to hear it in the dark. You bloomed in me like a revelation, like truth I never knew I was waiting for. And though we've written different endings, your love is the ink in my pen, the breath in my poetry. I speak softer now, because you taught me the strength in gentleness. I forgive easier now, because you taught me love without bitterness. I see beauty in broken things, because you bloomed in the shattered parts of me. And if I could say one more thing to you, I'd say thank you, not for staying, but for showing me how to stay with myself, for teaching me that even when love leaves, the bloom it leaves behind is enough to carry forward. And so I walk, head high, heart open, through this wild, unpredictable world. I plant pieces of you wherever I go, not out of sorrow, but in celebration. I see your light in strangers' smiles, your patience in quiet moments, your hope in every sunrise I once thought I'd never live to see. I bloom now too, not perfectly, not always, but enough to honor you, enough to continue the garden you started in me. You are not gone, you are not forgotten. You live in the softest parts of me, in the songs I hum without realizing, in the way I speak to those I love, with care, with grace, with a softness I learned from you. And though the world may never write your name in stone, I have carved it into every verse I live. Still you bloom, still I bloom, because love like yours doesn't vanish, it becomes everything.